Jaylen Brown. Oh my goodness. The Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown has agreed to sign the richest deal in the NBA, a 5-year, $304 million Supermax contract extension. Yes, you heard that right. $304 million. That exceeds the two-time MVP Nikola Jokic's $276 million extension with the Denver Nuggets. Wow. That's a lot of money, man. A lot of money. I should have been a basketball player. Let's get into it, though. We're going to kind of just debate, did he earn that contract? Did he do enough to earn that contract? And I'll come out first things first and say this is a play to the market. And technicality-wise, yes, this man earned his contract. He earned every single nickel of that contract for the simple fact that he was an all-NBA player. Yeah, he was a second-team all-NBA player. But he still was an all-NBA player. And what that all-NBA player status allows you is that Supermax contract. We would see some other players that missed out on that contract be getting paid as well. This is a massive, massive deal and big-time news in the NBA because it's the first player to crack that $300 million mark. Everyone was talking about it over the offseason. Will the Celtics pull the trigger? Will they be the team to pull the trigger and keep that little dynamic duo over there, JT and JB, together? A lot of people were saying they shouldn't. Some people say they should. I mean, they were right there this year. They were in the championship, the finals, the last year against the Warriors. So first things first, I just wanted to say it's a play to the market, and technicality-wise, he earned every single nickel of it. Like I was saying, the rumors, are they going to break up JTJB? This kills that. I'll tell you that. This kills those rumors because if you sign a guy to that much money, you are committing to him. You are committing to him fully for those 5 years. I think there was a no trade clause or a trade waiver, so he has the option to obviously waive the no trade clause. But like I said, you're not trading the guy if you're signing him to that kind of a deal. So that gives some Celtics fans some clarity on the direction where this team is going. I honestly thought they had clarity once they got rid of Smart and brought in Porzingis, but this definitely clears any more, murky waters over there in Boston. This is, and thirdly, this team has pretty much made that big dance, like I said, back-to-back seasons. They're a legit contender every year with that dynamic duo. Last year, technicality-wise, once again, we're going to use that word technicality-wise, statistically, they were the best duo in the league. They scored the most points. They put the most points together. They won the most games together, it felt like. So, when it comes to statistically, that duo was the best in the league. And then it comes down to, will that duo be able to win a championship together, though? We see these duos that are very, very good that can't pull off the championship. And it makes me wonder, is this another duo that can't get there? Can they reach, that destiny all those teams are setting out for once they start in the October? And I'm here to say that they can do it. If you can make a finals and be one game away, minutes away from, another finals appearance, and before that, you could make a case that the LeBron last year when with Cleveland, they should have won that game in Game 7. So there's 3 times that this duo has had opportunities, and 2 times that they should have been there, even though they came back from 3-1 against Miami, tried to come back from 3-1 last year against Miami. You could make the case both of those times they should have made it and should be in the finals 3 times. So if you're getting that close or even making it, I think you got something there. You got a heck of a group already over there. I love, I wasn't a big fan of the coach early on over there with the Celtics, but he grew on me throughout these playoffs. He's a everyone knows he's a Greg Popovich, comes from that tree, and it's hard not to believe in a coach that comes from that tree. So for me, you gotta run it back, even though I was a little skeptical due to what I'm going to get into in a second. But when you look at it in the East, who's better than the Celtics? Like, legitimately, right now, the only team I could say is the Bucks that are even in their realm, right? That's the only team. And Miami made it in the East last year, and they beat the Bucks. So that's big for me to say. I will say if the Heat are able to land a Dame Lillard, then the Heat are right in there, probably should be the favorites in the East. But right now, they don't have Dame Lillard, and they beat the Bucks, so I'm not going to give it to the Bucks. And the Celtics win at least they went 7 games with the Miami Heat last year. So for me, they're the best team overall when it comes to a roster. They got a lot of talent over there. I think Porzingis was an amazing pickup for Boston. So for me, it makes sense. Why not run it back, man? Why not give the guy his bag that he's earned? But lastly, obviously, what everyone's debating is, did he earn this contract? Even though he got that All-NBA status, did he earn it? Did he, watching him, do you think he is a $304 million player? And I don't know, mainly because I don't know how many players really are a $300 million worth that much money. There's only a couple. I would say the MVP should have been. Obviously, that number was the highest number that he could have got at the time was 276. So before that was the biggest contract in the league. I'm just going to throw some numbers at y'all. They're in these playoffs this year. In 20 games, JB averaged 22.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, 3.4 assists, 1.1 steals. And then he also only shot 49.6% from the field and 35.4% from three. And I also have, I think his turnovers was at 66. So, you look at those numbers and you definitely question some things. 22.7 is not bad. I mean, you could take that in points as your second option. But everyone watched last year. We watched JB. We saw what he did early on, struggling from the three. And once again, it's these things that kind of crept back into his game that we saw against the Warriors. Even though I would place the blame of the Warriors loss more on JT than JB, that finals loss, because JT just didn't show up. But it happens. Superstars go through slumps, but JT obviously proved this year that he is that guy. JB is that guy. He's a dog, but the same problems showed up this year in the playoffs as they did against the Warriors, and that is inconsistency from three and just difficulty with handles, especially when driving to the rim. And for a guy that, everyone knows what JB can do once he's at the rim. That dude he's a skywalker. That dude can fly. He's an amazing finisher with his layups, and he uses that threat, that speed when he attacks the rim to get into that mid-range area that is also one of his best parts of his game. So for me, seeing, not enough improvement there definitely makes me wonder, makes me kind of hold back on, was he worth all that money? And all I can say to it is, you had to pay the guy. So you're playing this tough game of, do we not pay this guy because he wasn't the superstar player that we want him to be right now? I think he's only, how old is he? 26, I think. Let me look this up. I should have had this pulled up. Jaylen Brown's age. He is 26 on the money. So he's only 26, guys. He's signing this contract before he's even technically entered his prime. You can say around 20 to 30 is that prime age when your body is physically at its peak and your mind is mentally at its peak. You've got that experience. You understand, he's had championship experience already. It's so crazy at this age. So for him to sign that contract before even entering his full-on prime, that's awesome for him. And like I said, you had to pay the guy. Someone was going to pay him. If the Celtics didn't pay him that much money, someone was going to pay him. Supermax wise, it's 5 years, so that 304 is a little. Only the Celtics could offer him $304 million because that 5th year. So obviously, but teams would have offered him the same amount of money annually per year as the Celtics did. So for me, you definitely are like, man, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a second NBA, All-NBA, second team All-NBA player. It's a lot. But like I said, someone was going to pay him. The Celtics really wanted to keep that duo together. I think it was a smart idea to keep the duo together. When it comes to the money, I can't question it because, once again, like I've said 3 or 4 times now, someone was going to pay JB. might as well be the Celtics. Keep that duo together. Let's try and run it back, man. As a Lakers fan, I don't want to see it, but my brother is a Celtics fan, so I have to have a small, very, very small, okayness with the Celtics. So good for JB, though. I'm happy for him, man. I've watched that guy grow, and, he's got to fix those things, though. Fix that inconsistency from 3 in the playoffs and fix that handle when he drives. Then he might be worth all every single dime.